I'm Phil Arias, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going over the animatics for Storm, Your Luck Runs Out, Keep Your Friends Close, and Ruthlessness. Storm is by Bambi. Your Luck Runs Out is by Crashite. Gigi does my favorite, Keep Your Friends Close. And then I, of course, got Neil Illustrator's Ruthlessness. Basically, most of the animatics you can find for Ruthlessness are absolutely outstanding and amazing. I just want to keep the gods as consistent as possible in my playlist, which is one of the reasons why I have Neil Illustrators. Also because their Poseidon is probably the most attractive one out of all of the different Poseidons, which we will see on song number 4. But for now, let's get into the storm. Love how it starts out below the water with the seaweed and everything, the kelp like wiggling. Okay, the art style really reminds me of, if you all remember that old Sinbad cartoon done by DreamWorks. Very reminiscent facial structure, very well defined. Again, Eurylochus has a buzz cut, so we're sticking with that theme with this artist. I do like how in this animatic he is going and he is helping each particular crew member with their tasks and everything, while he's also giving them instructions. Because honestly, how would they hear him over all of this?
Shoot for the sky. What?
What the musical? I know there are people who've gone out and they've actually made it so each time someone says what, it goes to the next song. There are so many just whats that are said. Between the whats and the no's, I might do some videos on if I can guess the song based on which what and which no happens. I'm not 100% sure if that would be something people are interested in. I mean, I think I could do pretty good with how much I've listened to these.
Everyone grab a harpoon and aim it high. We're shooting for the island in the sky. In the sky.
I do love that for shorthand, the ropes and stuff weren't actually drawn on the harpoons, but from this right here, this little sketch scene, we can see that the harpoons did indeed have ropes attached to them. Now, the logistics about being able to actually get a harpoon to stick into whatever material the bottom of the floating island is. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with that. Sure. Just sure. Okay. Again, one of the shortest songs in the series, but surprisingly one that has some of the fewest animatics for it. This next one is also one that doesn't have very many animatics, surprisingly. But then again, it is a lot of just conversation rather than a lot of stuff happening. So that kind of makes sense. Again, this is by Crashite. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I am not.
Please don't tell me you're about to do what I think you'll do. You've heard the legends of the island in the sky. This proves they're true.
Okay, I have to highlight the little happy face Odysseus has and just the worry that Eurylochus has. Also, another thing I've started to notice about Eurylochus, in a lot more animatics, he has a scar down the side of his face. I'm not sure where that came into play, but it seems decently new. I mean, of course he'd have scars because he's been in war for 10 years, so it's not exactly surprising. And I also like how, scarred up, Odysseus has all of the typical anime protag scars, which is great.
We're in the home of the
Like the one across the nose, the one over the eyebrow.
Have you seen before? This is the home of the wind god. And what's your plan? I'm gonna climb to the top and ask him for a hand.
excellent perspective, and also the expression on Eurylochus. Yeah, yeah, that definitely encompasses all of that "You've gotta be fucking kidding me" feeling that he's probably feeling right now. Definitely encompasses all of it. Very good. Odysseus is just super adorable in this animatic, wanna note that there.
Yes, but how much longer till your luck?
Oh my goodness, is that okay, I
Friend,
have to
we've
turn back
come this
because,
far. Yes, but
again,
how?
this is not the first time I've watched this animatic, but I wanted to make a note. My first instinct in my brain was that this is the guy's mouth is wide open with, like, going, and that wasn't a beard until he turns his
Much
head,
longer till your luck
and then it's like, "Oh, it's beard. It's definitely beard. Why did I think it would be anything else?"
runs out. How much
Also, the little note of kneeling,
longer till the show goes
and then more
out?
details because they're paying
How much
attention
longer
now,
till we all fall down? You rely on wit and
and they're
people
all starting
die
to
on
gather
it.
up.
Whoa. I still believe in goodness. I still believe that we
You're
could be
bullshitting
kind.
yourself so
Lead from the
much.
heart and see what starts. And what will we do when it tears us apart?
Okay, so this falls back to what I mentioned about Polites' headband, because it seems in this animatic, Polites' headband might be represented by the tie on Odysseus's ponytail. And I say that because of when Eurylochus gestures to it, he's mentioning when it tears us apart. So Polites died, and he's trying to remind Odysseus specifically of that moment. So, what better way to do that than to remind Odysseus of Polites using the item that Odysseus took from Polites' dead body? Also, great work on the hands.
Where is this coming from, my friend?
Honestly, I'm with Odysseus here. Where the fuck is this coming from? So far, you guys have survived so much shit that you should not have survived, and all because of Odysseus.
I just don't wanna see another life end. You're like the
I mean,
brother I
Odysseus
could
doesn't
never do
either.
without.
Oh, there it is. There's the line of "a brother I could never do without." That is said instead of specifically calling out that Eurylochus is married to Odysseus' sister.
And suddenly you doubt that I could figure this out. Captain,
I mean,
how
he's doubted
much
you the
longer
entire
till your
time.
luck runs out? How much longer till the
More
show
crew member are
goes
paying
out?
attention.
How much longer till we all fall down? You rely on wit and people die on it. Whoa, how?
I mean, at this point, the song doesn't fully make sense because he relies on wit, but so far people have survived on it, if we think about it. Because they haven't ran into half of the bullshit they end up running into in the actual story yet. They've gone through the war. The reason they won the war and get to go home is because of Odysseus's idea. The reason they even have food at all is because, again, Odysseus was clever enough to say, "Oh, hey, let's blind the Cyclops and steal all his shit." Now, granted, he was really dumb in doxing himself, but so far none of the crew, Eurylochus, none of them know that. None of them know that that was I mean, they probably know it was a terrible idea, but they don't fully know the repercussions yet. It's a good message, and it's good highlighting the fact that the crew is already distrustful of Odysseus and already questioning him. But at the same time, it very much is, why are they doing this when all Odysseus has done is basically keep them all alive? He won a fucking war. Why are they questioning their king now?
Much longer till the snake breaks free. How much longer till your great
Polites.
day sees? How much longer till your strength takes leave? You rely on.
Yeah, relied on wit, but the thing is people did not die because of his wit. People survived longer because of his wit. They had time to run, and he had time to think of a plan and everything. They did not die because of his wit here. I see how Eurylochus could be interpreting it that way, But in the end, it was, hey, try to make peace and, like, get the Cyclops to accept this drugged wine or die. It really seems like Eurylochus is stupid. Not just stupid, like, he legitimately is looking for any reason he can to bring Odysseus down. Problem is Odysseus really doesn't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. A few people died. Yes. That's gonna happen when you roll up into a Cyclops' cave and kill his pet. People are going to die. If everybody got out without a scratch on them, that would be a miracle. That would be a huge miracle. Almost as much of a miracle as 600 men going to war and none of them dying. Which again is something Odysseus says in this song, which again, I get like rule of cool and wanting to have like good rhymes and things, but 600 men and not a single person dying in 10 years of war. So many people have brought up this dead horse, and I'm just going to keep beating it because so it is one of the most confounding choices of lyrics.
But brother, I can assure
Huge, like, crew showing up.
our journey is almost done. I understand that we're tired.
And again, he's bringing up, hey, our journey's almost done. Like, we can see Ithaca. We just need to do these last few things and we'll be good. Again, in this situation, what does Eurylochus think they can do? What is his plan? Does he just want to go back into the storm and have their ship sink? Does he want to just stay linked up to the floating island and then die of starvation? This isn't exactly something Odysseus is doing because he wants to. He of course knows the gods are pissy and easy to be smiteful. They don't exactly enjoy humans rolling up into their houses and be like, hey, give me shit. They don't. But what choice is there, my dude? Odysseus is not only saying, hey, I'm going to do this, he's saying he's going to do it alone. So guess what? If he doesn't come back, you can still do your plan. You can starve to death on the ships. You can go crash your ships in the storm. Unless you have a better fucking idea, keep your goddamn mouth shut.
I understand that we're phased, but don't forget how much we've already faced. If you'd like to speak more, let me pull you aside, then I need.
The serious look is perfect for this situation. This is the, okay, Eurylochus, you've overstepped now. You've overstepped. I'm going to do this as peacefully as possible, not to startle the crew. We gonna have words.
To talk to you in private.
And the crew, even the crew knows. They know that he shouldn't have done this where they could hear it. Even they knew. But Eurylochus apparently, I don't know. I guess this is the start of him trying to get the guys to side with him against Odysseus. Why? I don't know. But again, the song and the message of the song, I get why the message is being there, but there's nothing that agrees with the message that we have seen so far.
I can't have you planting seeds of doubt. I can't have you disagreeing each route. I need you to always be devout and comply with this, or we'll all die in.
And bringing him down to, like, get him close, like, this is not an option. You are going to listen to me or we are going to have problems. Like motion.
This okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just that tired, him looking away and being like, ugh. And then Again, like, lovely hand, like, hands are always hard. Wonderful job on all the hands and the wrist connections and the perspective. Very good job. And the little yep. Oof. Again, for some reason, this song doesn't have as many animatics as the others. Again, it's mostly verbal communication in this song rather than any action or stuff happening. So I get that that would be a little more difficult to animate, especially when you want to include the crew listening in and all of the other subtext of the song that isn't specifically stated. Very good job capturing all of the subtext in this animatic, though. Okay, we are back to Gigi.
I don't know if you know this, but our path to
I'm gonna highlight the fact that, again, the headband. Gigi's animatics did not have the headband until after Polites died. So the headband's new. He looks a bit more raggedy than he did in Just a Man. It definitely feels like Odysseus's character art has solidified some and become more consistent. Not saying at all that Gigi's Just a Man and The Horse and the Infant were bad. I'm just saying it's easy to see the improvement in their work, which they've probably improved because of doing all of this, which is amazing. Their work when we get to later on in the playlist with their other ways of persuasion, it like exceeds even this one. So you can definitely see the improvement as we go on. Again, headband.
home is blocked by an impenetrable.
Sorry, I'm pausing again because I love just the way the hand is drawn. I'm going to be nerding out about hands in all of these animatics, but we've got the mark over his eye, he's got the longer hair than he did in, well, I'm trying to think back to those animatics. He did have pretty long hair in those animatics, but it's definitely more of a styled here. Then again, he's not wearing a helmet, so that might also be contributing to either one.
Enough to stay burning, let's play a game.
A game?
That's what I'm
And the little, like, the goatee. Gigi's really fits the playfulness and imaginative airiness, in my opinion.
serving.
For
And
Aeolus.
if you win, you will get what you're yearning.
Also, yes, I know Aeolus is not actually a god. If they were going to be a god, very, very well done.
Deal.
Take a look right here at this bag. It has the winds of the storm all trapped. All you gotta do is not open this bag.
Sounds too easy.
Again, some of Gigi's expressions, super solid. Just we already know Odysseus is a very smarmy bastard. He knows there's going to be a catch. He doesn't know the full extent of it yet, but even he's smart enough to know I'm not going to get something for free.
What's the catch?
Ha ha ha. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Never really know who you can trust. If they wanna get the bag open, you gotta say no, sir. Sometimes killing is a must.
What?
'Cause
What the musical again. And one of the key things is in The Luck Runs Out, we already got that the second in command, the person that Odysseus should trust the most in his crew is already not trusting him, is already questioning him, is already basically against him. So there's not really anyone that Odysseus could trust, even before they all say you need to be careful of who you trust. It's just kind of sad that Odysseus doesn't have, without Polites, again, doesn't really have that support and blind trust and friendship. Like, sure, he knows Eurylochus and everything, but Eurylochus has kind of been second guessing him since this entire thing started.
Captain, what's happening? What's trapped in that bag? Something dangerous, friends. We mustn't lag.
it's treasure.
What?
Those little shits. They're such little shits.
Let's see what you got.
No, do not! Everybody listen closely. See how this bag is closed. That's how it's supposed to be.
I love how it's
This
winking.
bag has the storm inside. We cannot let the treasure rumor fly.
We'll try.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Never really know who you can trust.
Yep.
Now I wanna get the bag open so they can have closure.
Very good, like, camera details with moving out and around and everything.
Everything's changed since Polities.
Again, yeah, ever since Polites is gone, Odysseus hasn't shown any trust in the crew or in the men. Because again, Eurylochus is the voice of the men now, and all he's showing is distrust. So the men are looking to Eurylochus and being like, oh, he doesn't trust Odysseus, so we shouldn't trust Odysseus fully either. It has all changed since Polites because there's no longer that little ball of sunshine on Odysseus' shoulder saying, oh, hey, you can trust people. Things will be okay. Polites would have also probably tackled Odysseus to the ground when Odysseus started to try to say his name. I am almost positive Polites would have seen Odysseus start to dox himself, would have tackled his ass. Because he would not let a bro do that.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Personal headcanon. That's my personal headcanon. I might not be right, but in my mind, Polites cares enough about Odysseus that he would have tackled his own king to keep him from fucking up.
For 9 days I've stayed wide awake trying to
Oh,
make
he
it
looks so
home with no
exhausted.
storm or tidal wave. I remain unopposed, the bag is still closed and I'm getting closer to you.
Yep, there's Ithaca in the distance. They can
Can't
see
wait
it.
to make some new memories.
Oh god, your Penelope is so gorgeous.
Hard for me to be the father I never
And Telemachus's face all blurred out. That is also something consistent because Odysseus doesn't know what Telemachus would look like. And I love this image because it does imply that the two crew that we've seen slightly detailed earlier, again, a lot of shorthand that Gigi uses between crew, because we know these are the exact same two crew members due to the slight detail that was put in at the start, that they're the ones that were questioning what's in the bag from when Odysseus first returned to the ship. So these are the two who we're most likely going to assume would be the ones opening the bag. This makes sense. Granted, for those of you who have watched all of Epic, not exactly true per Epic canon. Very well thought out to actually give these specific crew members details so that we can tell exactly, hey, they see the bag, they think it's treasure, they want to see what's inside. They're going to try to not let the rumors fly, but they're still concerned about it. Odysseus isn't trustworthy anymore. And I do enjoy the fact that it is actually Aeolus in epic canon, the wind god, coming out to summon the winds back. It's very interesting. It's not exactly what I would expect considering the wind and storm. For those of you who don't know, there are going to be spoilers in this. The storm is Poseidon's. Aeolus, as far as I know, was just basically putting Poseidon's storm, Poseidon's power that he had around the weather in Ithaca into this bag. So that way they wouldn't have to deal with the storm on their way home. And he could do this because he's the god of wind. They are the god of wind. However, Aeolus identifies. It makes sense that once out, the storm would again start raging, and the closer they are to Ithaca, likely the bigger the storm's going to be because it's going to try to keep them away more. But it's interesting that Aeolus comes out specifically and blows them away.
Close and your enemies closer.
Especially with another reason why I can see this and this choice of animation is because Aeolus's voice is still singing. It is still there inside the song itself. So Aeolus is with them.
Where's the storm taking us?
I said to keep the bag closed, but you weren't compliant.
And just Aeolus being a cocky little shit like, hey, I tried. You're the one who messed up. Human's gonna be human, which means human gonna be dumb. It kind of is just a fact of humanity. There's always going to be stupid and selfish people. And again, gods know that. So this wasn't so much a test for Odysseus, it was a test for how Odysseus manages everybody else. And he really should have actually put down some firmer, you try to take this bag, I cut off your hand rules. Not just do not open this bag, it's you touch this bag, you go overboard because we will not get home. Once we get home, you can have the bag. I don't give a shit. Until we get there, anybody who touches this bag is executed by orders of the king. Whether they actually would have even listened to that, who knows? Because Odysseus is just one man. Who's to say he could even enforce that, especially with Eurylochus, again, not having his back? He doesn't have anyone on his side out of all of these guys. He has so many guys in Epic, 600 of them. And he can't trust one of them? That's not a good look for the men.
I had to guess, you're headed to the land of the giants.
Help me close the bag!
But sir, it's too late!
We can
Again, your king gave you an order. Your captain gave you an order. You listen to it, sir. His men are so unruly for the dumbest reasons. Why would he not help close the bag when ordered? Why? There's no reason for him not to listen to Odysseus other than wanting to be obstinate.
save whatever wind is left to use another day. Come on! Oh, Odysseus of Ithaca! Do you know who I am?
Fantastic job as always, Gigi. And now we're going on to Neil Illustrator's Ruthlessness. Again, Neil is going to just flex so hard in this playlist. Because, oh, this is just full fucking animation at this point. And like the Cyclops necklace. Now, I have no idea why Neil's is missing an arm and has a water arm. I might have to go to their Tumblr and look into it a bit more, or maybe onto their Patreon or something. Again, I don't know why, but it looks so fucking cool. Okay?
Poseidon.
In all my years of living,
L'Oreal,
it isn't
because
very
he's
often
worth
that
it.
I get pissed off. I try to chill with the waves, but damn, you crossed the line. I've been so great.
And I love that Odysseus is still holding the wind bag. Just the rage we see in Poseidon in this animatic.
That's right.
And the
Cyclops
shock.
you made line is mine.
No.
I'm left without a choice and without a doubt. Yes, the back of wolves are swimming with the shark now.
All the horses, details in the waves.
But before you go, I need to make you learn how ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves.
Poseidon design with the braids and the hair that looks like flowing water. Such a good job, especially with the difference in the tones of blue between the water and Poseidon's arm to help it stand out some.
Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves.
And actually showing items on the ship going
You are
places
the worst kind of good, 'cause
when
you're not
it's
even
moving.
a Greek who reeks of false righteousness, that's what I hate.
The fact that Neil shows how much the crew members have to fight what Poseidon is doing just to avoid sinking immediately, just to try to hold on to what they have. Odysseus doesn't really have time to pay attention to what Poseidon is saying.
You are far too nice. Mercy has a price. It's the final crack. We're bound to break the ice now.
Okay, I want to highlight this because it plays in again at the end, which is very interesting. Also, again, hand hands. The animators who draw hands in these animatics. Y'all are so good.
You reveal your name, then you let him leave.
But yeah, Odysseus helps you roll a kiss.
Got no mercy left to give, 'cause ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves.
Again, the horse is gorgeous.
It's mercy upon ourselves.
2 words, Odysseus. Just 2 words. But as Poseidon well knows, someone who doxes themselves to his son after basically getting away with disabling them for life and everything is not going to be the type of man who apologizes. So this is kind of just a, I know he's not going to, but I'm gonna make his men think that he will. And then they're all going to have to realize that, oh, hey, their leader is not great. Also, I love like the little faces on all of the background characters. I'm really happy I paused at this moment so I get to like look at all of them. I don't know who Ponytail Guy is, but I like him. Oh, and we got like the messy beards make them kind of look like skeletons in the background. That's cute.
Poseidon, we meant no harm. We only hurt him to disarm him.
Yeah.
We took no pleasure in his pain. We only
Again, if you took no pleasure in his pain, why did you dox yourself and want him to know you did it? Odysseus, no one's gonna believe your bullshit. Like, you don't even believe it at this point.
wanted to escape.
Eurylochus doesn't believe it. His men don't believe
line
it.
between naivety and hopefulness is almost
That is such a good
invisible.
line.
Close your heart, the world is dark and ruthlessness is die.
Just Odysseus struggling to try to help them. It's very interesting, like, perspective, because, oh, just everybody drowning. And the windbag. We get the hint of the windbag right there. See, another thing Neil is really good at, I'm going to attribute this a lot to experience, shadowing what is going to happen, because we saw the windbag drop. It was a pretty obvious animation. We know the designs of the windbag, because we know how protective Odysseus was of it, even if it's not the same design as Gigi's. It does stand out a lot because of the designs on it. We just saw it. It's still floating. I mean, it has air in it, so hopefully it would. Maybe. Depends on what you qualify a storm as, I guess. Just the horrified look on his face of, oh crap, well, I messed up. But again, he's not going to take any responsibility for any of it. And he's going to basically be, oh, it was Poseidon who did this, not me. I'm not the cause of any of the repercussions of my actions.
What have you done?
Doesn't mean he can't be heartbroken by the results. Oh, and now we're going to get to the scene of all the men sinking. And like the men floating by. Yep. Really good visions of horror and like how terrifying the sea actually is. Not just Poseidon is terrifying, but the water itself is terrifying. Being out here is terrifying. And also we get Poseidon posing, and I mean, I am here for this.
The monster that always draws near.
And again, the windbag, we can just vaguely see it, and we notice Odysseus looking as well. I think Neil is also one of the few animators that encapsulates why Odysseus would be so hopeful and joyful in his coming line. Because a lot of times it's very confusing, like it feels it's taken out of nowhere. Like, he just saw all of his men die. Why would he be hopeful and like happy about this no matter what's going on if it's right there? Neil makes it make sense because there's that flash of hope. So we see it click in Odysseus's head, and instead of thinking about all the men, his brain switches to how do we survive? And he has an idea, and that means there's hope. And if there's hope, then he has something to be hopeful for, thus it makes the entire change in tone and joy more sense. Yep, windbag
Any
right
last
there.
words?
And here's the
All I
joy,
gotta do is open.
because Neil does a fantastic job. See, shock, realization, just the flash of emotions that go by Odysseus's face in the following few seconds.
Any last words?
That,
All I gotta
and
do
then
is open this bag.
plan. Mhm. And I do love the fact that Neil's it doesn't just go into the sails at all. It actually triggers a storm, a hurricane, a tornado. So it gets them really far away really quickly in a really interesting and fun way. And Eurylochus catches Odysseus. Yeah, just that. I know I paused it between the two images, but just the look of Odysseus is pissed at Poseidon. Yes.
Remember me.
And again, many people have stated this already while watching Neil's animatic for Ruthlessness, but the ships in the hair, such a good detail. So good. Again, go check out all of these animators. Go check out Jorge and the original songs and everything. They will be listed in the links below. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you want to watch me gab and more epic stuff and my head canons and random little tidbits that I've observed and point out, then please like and subscribe. But yeah, next is the Circe Saga, which is definitely one of my favorites. It has some of my favorite songs in it. Ruthlessness is hands down like one of my top 5 songs. Anyways, again, animators are amazing. All of you doing this and letting us watch it, thank you. Thank you so much. And also, thank you, all of the wonderful singers and Jorge and everybody who has participated in this project. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.